A file can lie to you in one glance. A harmless-looking .txt can really be an image. A JPG can actually be source code. And a CSV can hide a full Word document. That is the exact problem Google built Magika to solve. The post that kicked this off called it a secret weapon for file detection. The interesting part is not the hype. It is that the core claim holds up when you test it for real. Magika started inside Google, where it was used to route files across Gmail, Drive, and safe browsing. The official docs say the model is small, only a few megabytes, and can identify files in milliseconds on a single CPU. Google also says it trained and evaluated Magika on roughly 100 million samples across more than 200 content types, with about 99% average accuracy on its test set. The repo links that launch story to an official blog post and to a research paper that later appeared at ICC 2025. There is even a public web demo, which is always a good sign that the team expects normal people to verify the claim themselves. That is why this is more interesting than a flashy launch post. It is a research-backed classifier that already handled real production scale before it was open-sourced. The key idea is simple. Magika does not trust the file name first. It reads a small slice of the actual bytes, usually just a few hundred bytes and up to around 2 kilobytes, turns those bytes into features, and runs them through a compact deep learning model. After that, it still does not blindly trust every prediction. The docs explain that Magika uses per content type confidence thresholds and different prediction modes. So if the confidence is weak, it can fall back to broader labels like generic text or unknown binary data instead of pretending it knows more than it does. That restraint is a big part of why the output is useful in real systems. And when the score is high, the result comes back with a clean label, a human description, the MIME type, likely extensions, and a higher-level group such as code, document, or media. The easiest official surface to test is the browser demo. It runs locally in the page and classifies content as you type. In the demo, code is recognized as JavaScript with a score breakdown, not just a single label. The upload mode is even better because it shows the same idea on whole files instead of pasted text. But the stronger proof is what happens when file names are misleading. I ran Magika locally on 3 renamed files. A file named fakeinvoice.txt came back as a PNG image. A file named headshot.jpg came back as Python source code. And a file named notes.csv came back as a Microsoft Word document. That is the whole point of this tool. It is trying to tell you what the file actually is, not what the extension wants you to believe. Magika is not limited to a tiny set of formats either. The public model docs list more than 200 possible output labels, covering code, documents, media, archives, executables, notebooks, fonts, certificates, and plenty more. The CLI examples in the repo show it ripping through mixed folders and labeling Python, PDF, JPEG, FLC, ELF, WEBM, and tar files in one pass. The docs also highlight that the CLI, Python package, Rust bindings, JavaScript package, and web demo all sit on top of the same core logic. So this is not one neat command line trick. It is a reusable file intelligence layer that can sit in many different workflows. The security angle is where the project gets even more convincing. Magika is already visible inside VirusTotal and abuse.ch screenshots published by the project itself. In VirusTotal, the details page shows a dedicated Magika field alongside traditional file metadata. In the abuse.ch sample view, Magika also appears as its own classifier entry. Google's open source blog goes further and says Magika improved internal file type identification accuracy by 50% compared with their older handcrafted system, helped scan 11% more files with specialized malicious document scanners, and reduced unidentified files to just 3%. The same post also said an upcoming VirusTotal integration would use Magika as a pre-filter before deeper code analysis. So this is not a toy side project. It is already part of a real security pipeline. If you want to try it, the on-ramp is easy. You can use the official web demo in the browser, install the Python package with pip install Magika, grab the Rust CLI through Brew or Cargo, or just start with the GitHub repo and docs site. The big takeaway is not that Magika magically solves every file edge case. It is that Google shipped a practical, fast, open-source way to classify files by content instead of surface-level naming. And once you see a fake TXT expose itself as a PNG, it becomes very hard to trust extensions the same way again.